Stop right there! You're going to jail! What? Why? For breaking the laws of physics.
We are smack dab in the middle of this character alignment list, the truest of true neutral characters, the ones that feel the most indifferent about anything. They don't really fall under good or evil, nor do they seek anything lawful or chaotic. They're just there. But that's not a bad thing. The supposed wildcard of the alignment sheet, these characters kind of have their own goals in mind, and can shift to whatever side their friends might be on. Some great examples of true neutral characters are anti-villains, drifters, hermits, the truce zone, and the coward, both lovable and dirty. And as you should already know, only animated characters. Come on, this is like what, the 5th episode of the series already, and you still don't think I'm gonna stretch out to more characters? Silly. With that out of the way, here are my picks for the top 10 animated true neutral characters. Some animation follows our main protagonist on a quest to defeat all evil, but on rare occasions we might find our main character already on the evil side. But even on the rarest occasion, they might just fall in the middle, wondering how their story ends up. This is definitely the case with a pretty divisive anime protagonist, Shinji Ikari.
So this is another possibility, another possible reality. This current myself is the same way. It's not the true myself.
From the very beginning, Shinji's only interest in being an EVA pilot is because his dad told him to, and Shinji just pretty much uses this as a way to make his dad proud and seeks recognition from his co-workers.
I thought I told you not to get in my way.
What do you mean?
You're thinking in Japanese right now, aren't you? You have to be thinking in German, you idiot.
Okay then. Kuchen.
Stop!
The pilot saved the world on several occasions, yet Shinji has no real reason for doing so. Heck, he almost quit being a pilot twice because of the terror for this launch art reward. Shinji Ikari often acts out as a sense of obligation or self-preservation rather than a strong moral compass or a desire for order or chaos. You can say that with the other pilots too, Rei and Asuka, but Shinji's decisions frequently stem from his internal struggles and his reactions to the overwhelming circumstances around him. He's very selfish, but does manage to keep a layer of sympathy of what he went through, and upon that, becomes sort of an anti-nihilist at the end of the anime.
Hey, lonely? We could take you out on a date.
You realize I'm a guy, right?
We just probably can't be friends.
A while back, I talked about Prince Zuko finding his true purpose in life and ranging from a very lawful evil character and moving up the ranks to a lawful neutral character, overseeing his past self and bettering the Fire Kingdom and world of Avatar. But let's move a little back into when he was still undecided and was temporarily siding with his sister Azula and her friends. And one of her friends just happens to be Zuko's girlfriend too.
I thought when Tylee and I finally caught you guys, it would be more exciting. Oh well, victory is boring.
Mei's definitely that I'm bored kind of girl, not really caring about what happens within the Four Nations. She helps out with Azula's plan and letting the Fire Nation take control, but steps out towards the events of the Boiling Rock. Still, Mei embodies true neutrality through her general apathy and lack of strong conviction towards either good or evil, and her detachment from broader moral or societal frameworks, and her focus on personal desires makes her a prime example of a true neutral character.
This is for you.
Why would I want that?
I saw it and I thought it was pretty. Don't girls like stuff like this?
Maybe stupid girls.
Expect this list to be a lot of lazy bums. Futurama has a ton of characters like this. I mean, do I need to explain the whole neutral planet?
Should we trust him, your neutralness?
All I know is my gut says maybe.
With that being said, the Planet Express also has a few slackers on the team too. There's Fry, Bender, but the biggest one of them all is the ship's janitor, Scruffy.
Life goes on, but I believe we'll forever carry the pain on the inside.
Scruffy generally sees his job with a high level of apathy, ignoring any responsibility he has on the ship, instead of reading certain, magazines for his leisure times.
Scruffy's gonna die the way he lived.
If he and Fry had a competition of who was more of a couch potato, Scruffy would win easily. Heck, most of his coworkers kind of forget he's even on the team, asking who he is. That's okay, we get his iconic catchphrase because of it.
Who are you?
Scruffy, the janitor?
I've never seen you before.
I've never seen you before neither.
I don't even know who this guy is.
I'm Scruffy, the janitor. I'm Scruffy, the janitor.
Goth time.
I guess you consider the goth archetype to align with the true neutral type. It makes sense, most goths like to tend to be by themselves and stay neutral towards anything, not caring at all. And when your father happens to be an unsuccessful evil scientist, you think you would follow in their footsteps, but not Vanessa.
Dad, I'm not your little girl anymore. Look at me, I'm 16 years old. 16!
That's practically an adult, but you still treat me like I'm a little kid.
Vanessa usually tends to be more selfish than most animated goths out there. A true deadpan snarker, she often finds her father's evil plans annoying, but never goes out of her way to thwart them.
Hey Vanessa, did you do all this yourself?
Well, actually my dad put it together, with some help from Perry the Platypus.
Though she has tended to warm up to Doofenshmirtz's schemes in later episodes, she is still very embarrassed by her father's actions. That being said, she isn't really buddy-buddy with his nemesis Agent P either, pretty much keeping it strict and platonic. But don't call her evil though.
Oh, it's my dad. Yes, Dad?
Perry the Platypus almost ate gum off the sidewalk!
So much for Daddy's little villain. Back then, I considered Goku to be a very neutral and good character, someone who definitely abided to do the right thing without breaking the mold of law or justice. Now take that sense of morality, but just tweak them out to be a little more stubborn and ruthless, and you pretty much get Goku's rival Vegeta.
Hey, why didn't you try to save them, Vegeta?
Who?
Who? Bulma and your son!
Oh, them. I have more important things to worry about than that foolish woman and her blasted child.
Vegeta is definitely the hardest to point out whether he fights for good or evil, or whether he stands on laws or does his own thing. His motivations just seem to change throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. Even characters themselves had to question Vegeta's true intentions, while also cleaning up his messes.
It's like the three of us are brothers.
Now, if you want an in-depth look into Vegeta's constant changes throughout the show, let's break it down. Saiyan Arc, chaotic evil. Namek, neutral evil. The Frieza Arc, all over the place. Android Arc, true neutral. Cell Arc, all over the place, but a bit more good. Majin Buu, pretty much all stages in good territory. Vegeta's pretty complicated, but his overall arc demonstrates a character whose motivations are not consistently aligned with good or evil, nor strictly lawful or chaotic. He often acts based on his own desires, pride, or self-interest, sometimes clashing with heroes, but also aiding them when it serves his own goals or when faced with a greater threat.
Vegeta, no! Vegeta! Yeah!
Flawless victory. Fatality.
Very few demons can consider themselves less evil than others, even beyond stretching to good territory. One specific demon, often in Japanese culture, Shinigami, are often sourced as messengers from the spirit to the human world, often acting as guides rather than being a full-on Grim Reaper. One major Shinigami is responsible for looking after a human after they get a hold of the Death Note, leading them to a whole slew of unfortunate events.
No reason to act surprised. I am the Shinigami Ryuk. That used to be my notebook. Judging by your laughter, you've already figured out that what you have is no ordinary notebook.
Now, Ryuk does have a little chaos in him. I mean, he is the one who drops the Death Note in the human world because he got bored.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
But with that being said, he often just observes and watches what happens when a human possesses said book. Mainly our anti-hero, Light Yagami, who Ryuk reminds him that he's not going to interfere with Light's actions and has no sense of loyalty to him whatsoever.
First of all, I don't have anything against you. I actually think the notebook couldn't have been picked up by a better person.
His only true interest is elevating his own boredom, and he views the events unfolding around Light as a form of entertainment. Ryuk's actions are driven by his personal desires and a detached curiosity, making him an embodiment of true neutrality. I will give him credit though that he calls out Light's abusive nature towards Misa. This demon is a true ally.
Okay, but who is this guy?
Just get on with it, alright?
Taking out your anger on her, huh?
Uh-oh, incoming old man alert. Usually grouchy old men tend to fall under any neutral ground. They're not that malicious to be truly evil, just a little pest that won't leave you alone. The flies of the side character spectrum. With that, let's talk about a character that comes from a very spooky and unsettling cartoon, full of monsters and demons and evil spirits. Yet, this character might just be the evilest of them all. But, you know, not that evil.
Ah, that's all I needed. A nap. I feel like $1 million. Yep. Nap did the trick. Foot feels fine. Ah!
Gustus is primarily motivated by his own comfort, greed, and general bad temper rather than any grand scheme of good or evil, or adherence to societal laws or chaotic impulses. While he often treats Courage poorly and exhibits a general disdain for anything outside his immediate routine, his actions rarely escalate to truly malicious or destructive levels. His evil is more petty annoyance and selfishness than genuine villainy.
What did I do?
He is perfectly content to ignore the bizarre and often dangerous occurrences around him, as long as they don't directly interfere with his own immediate well-being or property. He doesn't actively seek to help or harm, but rather to exist in his grumpy bubble, reacting only when his personal peace is disturbed. This focus on self-preservation and personal comfort, without leaning towards altruism or malevolence, firmly places him in the true neutral alignment.
Idiot TV! Talk normal!
So there's been a couple of cartoons throughout the series that have been taking a few slots on these lists. There's been Adventure Time, Futurama, The Last Airbender, but could any of those cartoons say that they've had their characters take up the top 3 in each countdown? Nope. Case in point, we have The Simpsons. Lisa took home second place for the top 10 neutral good characters, while her brother Bart took home the crown for the best animated chaotic good character. And taking the bronze medal for this alignment is their bumbling dad, Homer.
And you didn't think I'd make any money. I found $1 while I was waiting for the bus.
While you were out earning that $1, you lost $40 by not going to work. The plant called and said if you don't come in tomorrow, don't bother coming in Monday.
Woohoo! A 4-day weekend!
Given no other motivators, Homer really just wants to watch TV and drink some Duff beer in the process. The few things he actually does are for his own self-interest or just a sense of duty as a husband or father, though really, he doesn't quite enjoy it.
Marge, I'd like to be alone with the sandwich for a moment.
Are you going to eat it?
Yes.
There has been moments of Homer showing a good quality to him, mainly on the chaotic side, but really in most episodes, it's just his personality in general. He safely finds himself in this alignment, and we couldn't have it any other way.
The sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side.
That's a right triangle, you idiot!
Goth time.
Invader Zim, one of the most highly inducing shows with a huge cult following. You got egomaniacal aliens, hyperactive robots, a bizarre and off-the-walls humor and atmosphere. It is every Hot Topic chick's dream. Put the show on while playing some Paramore, it will take you back to the mid-2000s era. And wow, what do you know, this show has a fictional goth character too. Who would have thought?
Hey, what game's that?
This is no game. This is my life.
Yeah, it's cool looking, but it still just looks like a game.
Gaz is self-centered, uncaring, and unconcerned to the world around her if it's not related to her needs. So yeah, the whole plot of this alien trying to conquer world domination and causing mass destruction doesn't bother her at all.
Gaz, you sacrificed the entire planet just for some pizza?
Look, you got to pick what we ate last time, and now it's my turn!
Gaz's whole personality revolves around cold death threats to people, playing some extreme video games, and when she actually shows emotion, tries to get her father to pay attention to her, even going to have dinner with him, which barely ever happens. With her moody actions, she usually plays games to shut out life problems, and usually gives her deranged brother the cold shoulder. Not surprising when he's obsessing over a dim-witted alien.
What you need is to give the game slave to me, or I will plunge you into a nightmare world from which there is no waking.
Before we get to my top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Saved your life. Second time today. I thought you knew how to climb trees.
A hero of true neutral characters, she likes her forest and protects it at all costs, even shooing away protagonist Brendan from visiting. That doesn't last though.
Funny. What do you think you're gonna do with that?
It'll be more than adequate. After all, you wouldn't kill a fly with a cannon, would you?
A sensational swordsman who only really cares about finding someone who can surpass him in his skills. He definitely takes a liking to our Straw Hat pirate Zoro and Luffy, even saving Zoro's life from a one-sided duel.
You three knew I was in there, and you didn't do anything. Did you even wonder who I used to be?
When you really only join the Crystal Gems because of Steven and not actually for their cause, you land here. Lapis tends to find herself being an enemy in multiple factions, and would rather flee from a war than pick a side.
Almost there. Now, presenting the Magic-tastical back-flipping rubber duck!
If you know anything about the story of Lucifer from the Bible, this is a different story. After being banished from heaven after trying to give humanity free will, Lucifer comes to realize that the sinners in hell pretty much deserve everything that comes to them and lives in power through fear of what they become. Who knows what awaits him in Season 2?
Who would I be without you?
I love you, Metro Man!
And I love you, random citizen!
A bit controversial, but I believe Metro Man to be true neutral. Don't get me wrong, he's a superhero who always saves the day from Megamind, but he really wants to retire and take on music. Now, he does retire after he makes sure Megamind doesn't go off the rails, but still abandoning Metro City is a bit selfish. With that out of the way, here's my top pick. For 4 movies, and possibly the 5th one as well, we've seen a character who has shown tons of heroic deeds, but mostly out of greed and selfishness. A mixture of bystander syndrome and a bit of heroicism in the actions, a character with tons of layers, you know, like onions.
Please calm down.
Calm down? Who do you think we're kidding? I am an ogre. I'm not cut out for this, Fiona, and I never will be.
Shrek embodies true neutral actions throughout his movies, and also possibly the next movie coming out too. His primary motivation is personal peace and the security of his swamp in the first film, something he gets driven out of and only tries to reclaim it from the fairy tale creatures.
What are you doing in my swamp?
It's free real estate.
Shrek is portrayed as a grumpy hermit who wants to be left alone, though he does end up falling in love with Fiona and having 3 kids in the process. I think one of their names is Zendaya. He doesn't actively seek to help others out of altruism, nor does he actively seek to cause harm. His decisions are almost always driven by what benefits him and his immediate circle, and he's willing to work with or against anyone depending on the circumstances, without a strong moral or ideological stance. This consistent focus on self-interest and a desire for an undisturbed existence makes him a quintessential true neutral character.
No! You dense, irritating miniature beast of burden! Ogres are like onions. End of story. Bye-bye. See you later.
And there you have it, a pretty balanced list of some characters who just kind of do their own thing, and don't matter if their actions are good or evil, lawful or chaotic, just pure and true normal. But maybe I missed a character that you feel deserves to be on this list. Maybe there's a character you feel has a different alignment than I initially put on. I would love to know in the comments.